Hello everyone, welcome. It's me, Chrono JJ, back with some more Age of Mythology. Last time I tried to do the recorded games, they didn't work. I think these ones do. So we will hopefully be able to watch a recorded game series in the playoffs in the Athenian League, down in the classical division, so the lowest skill level, but the greatest of hearts for these players. And our players we're going to be watching are m4rKy and Thoraa. And just a quick little scorecard here to kind of compare them. m4rKy's playing mainly Isis and Set, a little bit of Loki as well, and then one game with Kronos. Thoraa, lots of games with Gaia, few games with Hades, and then one game with Uranus. Both players finished 6-6 with individual score. They got pretty similar ratings, so should be a pretty close match. So we will get into the series with game one, always brought to you by The Unknown. Alrighty, what do we got here? Do we have everything working? Looks like it. We will put fast forward. We will get our settings. Scroll the speed down to 5%. Apply, and we are ready to go with Isis against Thoraa. So, we've got a Chinese sighting with Shenong. I've been playing just a little Shenong, losing. I don't know what I'm doing with Shenong, so I don't know if Thoraa will know better than me. But it's cool to see Shenong being played, I think, of all of the Chinese. If you're playing multiplayer, you're probably a little annoyed with some of the Chinese god powers and strategies that they can do. But Shenong seems pretty fair. So we'll see what happens here. We've got, the new feature is the kind of, I don't remember what the technical term is for the controlled land that they have. A favored land, I think, which is generated by buildings. So you kind of want to sprawl your buildings out. And that gives you favor. And another thing that Shenong gets is a free myth unit will spawn from the next age. So kind of nice to get kind of a upgraded myth unit ahead of time. Is always good. And of course on the other side we've got m4rKy with Isis. Isis, I think of all gods, Isis probably in like competitive gameplay, it's very, very similar to Legacy gameplay. Isis is still just kind of Isis. Lots of fast heroics, early prosperities, Mignol units, Ancestors Eclipse push, mining camp on the wrong side of the mine, and Chiyu has been reached by our Shenong player. Gets these very quick Yazi. These warping myth units are very strong, but not a lot of hit points, so they can come in and do a ton of damage, but they're pretty soft, pretty squishy, and especially against like a Pharaoh who doesn't miss his shots. Probably get some damage as we get the technology in that gives them 15% more hit points and more damage on their flash attack. That flash attack, the increase allows them to one-shot. Two of them doing their flash will one-shot a villager. It's very strong. As they come over here hunting for... There she is. You gotta be right on him with your Pharaoh. Just attack with the Pharaoh, because he won't miss. Yeah, you see how much damage just as soon as they get caught. How much damage? Can their speed be 6? I don't know if there's another upgrade that gets them past 5.5. Let's check here. So we've got the Yazi. I don't think so. Then it gets lifesteal. Maybe if you get a relic, it can make them faster. Or maybe there's a technology. If you got the relic that makes the myth units faster, they would be 6 speed. Shipper fingernails. Oh, villagers more hit points. That's decent. Caravan's cheaper, and then there's still another relic, I think, just sitting around somewhere. And with that initial rating, we have now settled to not do a whole lot. I think he's trying to cut off this priest with the relic. Well, maybe not. So we got one early kill. M4rKy will be aging up. Uh-oh. Oh, you gotta send
In wedge.
8, 6, 4, 3. Can see it, send it back to there and heal it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a way they can get it to 6 speed. I'm not familiar enough to be able to say one way or the other. But don't build the mining camps on this side of your mines here. The long side of the mine is where you want to put your mining camp on. You fit more villagers. So yeah, this is a little bit not so bueno. A little bit about M4rKy is that he's a very old player. In fact, he's played Age of Mythology pretty much as long as I have. He's a player that I remember from all the way back in the 2003, 2004 era, and then I believe he also switched into Age of Empires 3 when it came out back in 2005. So he's an old player. He was part of the Nex or Nublex clan, which was a Czechoslovakian clan. Or at least they all pretended to be from Czechoslovakia. I don't know if there was like some sort of like Czech test they had to take to get in. But very old clan, and him and another clanmate from Nex joined for the tournament this season. So it was cool to see that. And we've got our Shannon player going up with Uba. She gives the Drought God Power, which is very strong in combination with Great Flood. Thoraa did play last season. I am pretty sure, I forgot to look, I am pretty sure that Thoraa made it to the playoffs in his division last year. That didn't win a match though. That was in the first season. The players all got put into the same playoffs. So like the top tier and the lower tier players were all put in the same playoffs. And I changed that this year because the skill difference between the divisions was just too great, and it was just not going to result in good games. So we will end up with 3 champions, one from each skill level, which I think that's cool. Because one reason I started this league was so players could play in a competitive environment and avoid getting stomped by like a top player like in the second round. You know, because what's the fun in that? You joined for a tournament, you maybe win the first round because you can get somebody you can win against, and then next round you just play against somebody who plays the game way too much and you lose. And where's the fun in that? We see our first little skirmish here. We have Ancestors Eclipsed used, but these myth units are scary, and so are the heroes. I don't know if this will really be what the doctor ordered for M4rKy, but the myth units are not protecting the heroes here. But yeah, there's just delays the fort a little bit. Oh, will he get a cheeky kill on this? These Kuafus are... Ooh, wow, he will. Oh, this one minion will do more damage than all the rest of them combined. If he kills another one, I'll be very entertained. We're just letting this guy. Oh, oh, oh. Just barely. Oh, I thought we'd see it. I thought we'd see it. Yeah, that one minion. One more. Just needed one more hit. One hit point. That would have been two of those things down. Hey, Gaboo, thanks for the raid. I hope your stream went well, my friend. And I am hydrating. And we are watching the Athenian League, recorded games from the Athenian League. We are in the first run of the playoffs here. And if you're not familiar with what the Athenian League is, it's a tournament aimed at intermediate and below players. This year, the rating range was about 1,300 to 1,700. So we are in the bottom tier, which is about 1,300 to 1,400. And then the middle tier was about 1,400 to 1,500-ish. And then the top tier was 1,500 on up. And we've got two very low Kuafus. These things are really good. They gather like 4 times faster than a villager on gold, so very valuable. And this one literally has 1 hit point. Just a strong wind will knock him over for good. But what is m4rKy doing? m4rKy is trying to raid over here with these waddling chariots. They do kind of waddle as they move, don't they? It's very rickety. The dude in there doesn't look very stable. Well, a very rickety looking, what do they call those? The wagon? What's that part of the chariot? Or is that just a chariot? I guess it's probably the chariot and this is the horse, right? Gonna come up here. I will assume Thoraa sees them now. Yeah, could get some damage in on this wood line. The army here is just sitting and then come back to defend. Kills 1 villager, 2 villagers. The upgrade. We've got a Sphinx here. A very much... Ooh, get away from these guys. The TOT. Gain stats as they eat human units. We've also got the Kyanki here, who can take flight. But doesn't really, I don't think, have any like special attack. This is a very, so you gotta be careful with your army and stuff like this. So you get a raid to come in from m4rKy, and this entire army comes down to defend against this raid, which isn't the way it should be. You really should just send the units you need to defend, not the whole army. And then maybe even try like a little bit of a counterattack while the raid's going. And see a lot of priests here for these double Chauti. Chauti? I'm not very familiar with the pronunciation, but we will try. We have more villagers from m4rKy, but I don't think that counts the Kwafu and how good they are. Chariots shooting from afar. We've got a bit of a fight here. I don't know who's going to win. I mean, these priests will mow down these units, but I think this archer backline, there's quite a few of them. And a little bit late to use this god power that will give your units a chance to stun an enemy unit. Really good on the archers, but the problem is there's no pushing power here. So kind of used this god power in a fight that he was winning anyway. So a bit of a blown god power as m4rKy uses prosperity. Has second line, some decent upgrades here. Quite a bit of gold coming in with this. Let's have a second town center, and Thoraa is kind of just happy to sit back right now. It's not doing a whole lot. Like, there are places to hit here if you wanted to raid and attack. I mean, you could come up here and force all this idle. The problem is Thoraa is just a little bit distracted by this kind of forward base that's been thrown in his face, and just doesn't want to move around it, which now finally is moving around it, but now is coming back because there's a bit of a chariot raid here. Getting some more of those Invisifarms going. And will Thoraa kind of react again to this, where he sends everything down? No, he's ignoring it this time, which is for the best, and will come in and attack the strongest position on the map. Priest take down the Tiao, and attack is kind of pushed back, and as this game goes on, unless Thoraa gets like your magical Great Flood God power, it's just a little too far behind. Was slow to build this town center. Let's get one of those. These dragons though are super strong. So this is Shenang's bonus, which is getting a myth unit from the next age, and these floating dragons are pretty good. The Azure Dragon. It's the beginning of a new year. I mean, Thoraa is probably hoping that this is the beginning of a new part of this game, because so far, not a whole lot been going on well for him here. But overall, not a whole lot has been going on. And again, kind of overreacting to these 5 chariots that are coming in. Like, m4rKy could probably just over and over just show up with 5 chariots and keep Thoraa from ever attacking. This dragon will come forward. You don't want to lose hit points on this. They're super strong, but not a ton of hit points. But do regenerate over the allied or the favored land. So would like to get this dragon flying back here. And there's Osiris, which will look at him just kind of hanging out. My daughter, she's 6. She loves. Ooh, that's a nice special there, though. Look at all this damage on those camels, but there's too many camels though, and too many archers. And once this Osiris gets starts blasting on this King Long. All right, need to get another good special there. And that's that. A very, very quick and straightforward game here, where m4rKy was just kind of free to do whatever he wanted. Just kind of sat in his base. Never had any pressure at all. Got that second town center up early. And then just took off in economy late, and you never really had that increase in economy from Thoraa. And Thoraa just fell way too far behind in economy, and really that's what this game, the difference is in this game is just simply economy. The military was pretty basic. It's pretty basic fighting here, and m4rKy ends up getting a pretty easy first game win in a game that didn't have a lot of fireworks, but that's okay. Sometimes slow and steady is what wins the race, and it won this one. And Blossom Goose, I appreciate your 59 months. You're almost the 5 years. 5 years. It's a long time. Game 2 on Thoraa's home map. Thoraa has gone with the very familiar Gaia that Thoraa has been playing for quite some time. A lot of Gaia gains for Thoraa in this one. Did I Get my settings right. Here, slow. Yep. All right. How do I have to change this so that the scroll speed isn't too fast? So this is Marsh, right? Yeah. You got Marsh. M4rKy is switched over, so when you win, you cannot repeat your winning god. So each player here, in order to win the 3 games or the 5-game series, will have to win with 3 different gods. So gotta be a little bit. You gotta be a jack of all trades a little bit, at least 3. You gotta be competent with. So that should also generally keep your art series a little bit closer, because it's hard to win with 3 gods against your opponent's best, so to speak. So, hello, Elias. Argentina. I always forget if Argentina is Spanish or Portuguese. I think it's probably Spanish. So, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Hope you're doing well. We have the Chronos time shift to get those oracles coming in. Does M4rKy know where the hunt is? He doesn't, but he kind of very fortunately got these. I got this temple right here, so he'll see this. But the deer are almost dead, so then can just come over to the chicken or something. Gets deconstruct on the enemy temple, and the oracle gets killed. Prometheans come out, and Thoraa knows that something's afoot, but he's building his temple unknowingly in the wrong spot here. And oof, we'll have to probably abandon that for now. Well, I can send these heroes forward, so not too bad. Going up with Oceanus, the Prometheans will come forward and kind of see what's going on. And now, too late to do much of anything. What is M4rKy doing behind this, though? Grabbing a town center? Yeah. So M4rKy's grabbing a town center. Thoraa is building barracks because he probably thinks he's being rushed. It really isn't. It's just these 2 free Prometheans. So barracks, counter barracks to try to react to this very, very scary rush of 2 Prometheans. Look at this random tall tree here. It's very strange. Why is there a cypress tree mixed in with the oak tree? These are all oak trees. Who put this cypress tree here? Is that the only cypress tree on the map? I feel like it's not supposed to be here. Maybe there's more. I need to find another cypress tree. Look, there it is. There's an olive tree as well. Weird. So like there will just randomly be like a cypress tree in the oak tree forest. I did not know that. Very exciting. We're looking at trees as we've got a town center grabbed from M4rKy. Oh, Mark. And Thoraa has no idea this town center has been grabbed, but probably should think it was built because there's nothing happening. I mean, Red is not attacking. The Prometheans have disappeared. We will move on to the the hippos over here. Yeah, again, Thoraa just very defensive, just like the last game. Red has no army. There's no reason to be defended. This is where having good scouting and knowing what your opponent is doing is very important. One of these oracles should have had line of sight on the back town center. You always want to be able to tell if the opponent is going to be building a town center or not. So yeah, one of these That one oracle should have come down here and just sat on the town center. You'd probably almost even want another one maybe up here so that you can see if this town center gets grabbed instead. And then it's nice to have a third one over here just to kind of keep an eye on this entire side of the map. So Promethean is just kind of left up here. Okay, you gotta go, go, go. See, there is a hole here. You can walk across this. Does he go? Nice little defensive wall. Really, this should be defensively walled here. Come on, go! You see these villagers here. m4rKy doesn't have a single military unit. He's got one, I guess. Where's the one? This one. This is his only military unit. So he's getting away with quite a bit right now. Well, Thoraa very happily sits in his base, but I don't know if this is going to turn out happily for him because he's down at town center. Gotta stay active on the map. See, with grabbing this town center earlier, m4rKy's just going to be probably substantially ahead here in economy, even though he is facing off. I'm cold, I need to get warmer. Even though he is facing off against Gaia, but the earlier town center. We do have Poseidon's Secret coming in for Thoraa, so Thoraa will be spamming out the cavalry. We will see if m4rKy's all in on the military barracks. He'll probably want the counter barracks to get a few of those catapultes up and going. All right, this is a lot of military buildings. I don't know if we can support this kind of production here. The old triple, I think these are supposed to be houses. The old triple eco guild strat. I see how it is. Let's see all these villagers over here. So do we have a potential for like a timing push, or does m4rKy have the army he needs to defend? The answer is, well, no. I don't know though why you would try to match Contarius when the opponent went up the god that has all the Contarius techs, because you're just gonna essentially be losing a mirror battle. I mean, I don't know. Let's get this palace here. Thoraa needs to attack. He's been one town center for so long. No, needs to realize that a timing attack here is key before the opponent can catch up with military, but I don't know if Thora's going to do it. I mean, Thoraa doesn't even know that there is a second town center. And that, my friends, is a problem. Because he has no idea what the enemy is doing. No clue. Scout's gonna come in here, or the Scout's the Contarius, yeah. Alright, so they're into the back of the base, or can be. But Let's see what Thoraa can see. Thoraa will probably, yeah. We have a trader on, yeah, the bird, and Thoraa, I think, took too long to attack. Well, maybe not. This carnivore will do more damage than you'd think. So all these Scaterius die. Hello, Nimonu. Overall, nice fight for Thoraa, but still behind in economy, but is on top of this gold mine. Does he have what it takes, though? Oh, eats a horse. Now the citizens on this gold mine. m4rKy needs to be careful with all these Arcus. The Arcus are probably not the unit to be building here against all of these cavalry units. But yeah, m4rKy, as long as this just kind of just continues the way it is, m4rKy's not too sad, but trying to build another fortress, that's not quite gonna work out. Got plenty of gold in there. We need to see. Now, Thoraa could win this if he comes over to this gold mine right now. You'd full starve this. The Arcus are not. It would be a win if these cav just came on this gold mine right now. Just not knowing the importance of it. So what does Thoraa have scouted? It would be nice to know all of this to be able to confirm that there's no back gold mine back here. You kind of assume there isn't because there's none, at least that he knows of, for Thoraa. But that means Thoraa needs to start thinking, how do I win this game? Well, I'm on this, if I can prevent this gold mine, I've got half of the gold mines covered. Literally just needs to right click right there to win the game. Because this slow army can't respond. I mean, we even have, well, we do have an upgraded gate, the wall now with a few weak segments, but yeah, you just, oh, just come right over there. And now the catapultists are coming in, which means the Cantarius will lose their value pretty soon. But oh, the prize is right here. You have a raid down here, so that's nice. But it's not the raid that we need. If we are in Team Thoraa's camp here, if we're part of his entourage, we need it to come just right here. It's so close too. And yes, as Iriel's puts, scouting is so important because if you have no idea what the opponent is doing, you're basically just rolling that your pre-designed plan is better. It might be, might not be. It's a big fight here underneath these two palaces. Yeah, just not quite enough units. This is a really nice positioning here for m4rKy with all of these the Arcus just sitting in the choke there. But yeah, we're lost the opportunity, and now just being behind on villagers all game. Just can't. I don't know if Thoraa will be able to like launch the aggression anymore, because now with this gold mine almost done, this position can be held, and m4rKy's fine. But yeah, I'm quite confident. In fact, I would be 100% confident that if on that first attack, when Thoraa had so many more units, moving here would have been a win. Maybe Thor will still win. I mean, it's not over. We do have Atlas coming with Implode, and Implode will really cause some damage here. So we've got a chance with Atlas that Thoraa can tie this series up 1-1. But we'll have to see. I mean, this is going to be a high value Atlas Implode area because you're going to have military, you're going to have citizens. A big fight here that Thoraa takes that he needn't take. I know he's probably trying to keep the aggression on because he wants to force the Implode here, because if this army comes forward and attacks, now you're just using Implode to defend, which isn't what you want. But it looks like m4rKy's pretty happy to defend. I'm getting a bit of a raid here, a nice raid. A couple of citizens dead. Yeah, what, 2 citizens dead? The other Contarius come over to help out. Yeah, decent upgrades for the Contarius. Lots of upgrades for these guys. Holy cow. How far are we away? 30 seconds away? This is... Just don't fight before Implode. But you need to time this to where as soon as Implode comes in, you need to have line of sight here to cast Implode. This should not... Don't fight this fight! Your Implode can kill all of this anyway. There's no point in losing units. We're almost up. Cast your Implode right back here. Okay, that's a good spot. Get all the army. Villagers. Slow my computer down. Citizens getting dragged in. Right in between all these palaces. So just run your units in. Use this time. That one got some serious hang time. Use this time to clear out 2 palaces. We'll kill the villagers though. Oh, they'll get there. Really scared if you're m4rKy all of a sudden. And coming up to here. I was going to say, this is your... come to this gold mine. Hopefully give this position up and just rebuild behind it. Uses Trader on the Argus, who spits out the big old slime blob. Few citizens dead here. Few more maybe soon. But yeah, I mean, just m4rKy's economy is just so good. He can replenish pretty well. But there's a lot of Arcus now. m4rKy probably should be sitting back a little bit longer because he's not in panic mode yet. And here comes his own Implode. He's just going to respond with his own. Gets the Implode away in the back line. Try to get your Cav out. Not a great Implode, actually. I think he was anticipating the units would retreat. So, not as good of an Implode, but did what it needed, and m4rKy is held. And he also has this gold mine over here with the llama. Llama watching over, and Thoraa doesn't even know this mine exists. Like, there was another chance here where, again, you push off gold and you sit on this mine. You could get another kind of half gold block going for a while. But just walk him like right here. Gotta cover the map. Gotta cover it. Got double. I get out of the acid here. It's gonna do some damage. Got a carnivore down to the archers. It's too late now, I fear, for our friend in blue. Has his eco upgrades, has his military upgrades, just behind in town center, and then missed the game-winning attack. Defends for now, but now what? m4rKy's at full pop. m4rKy just needs to get maybe just a couple fire siphon potentially and just start coming forward, and we'll be able to blast through these buildings. Might not even need them really. Okay, we're getting this mucus spitting blobs again. They don't have a ton of hit points. And the gold mine is pushed off. Deconstruct on one palace. The other one will go down. I guess we do have a few destroyers, so that's the siege that you need. Where are all these units coming? Okay, they're all back here. They're coming. Ooh, has this scouted, so we could send a few units down here. It is a best of 5, so hope is not lost for Thoraa, but starting out 0-2 is not where he needs to be. And did Thoraa just never grab a town center, or did he lose this one? I think he just never grabbed one. The one town center dream. And trying to play like me, which, if you're going to be the one town center, you got to be aggressive though. You got to control the map. Push the opponent off of gold. Got the champion, the random champion Kiro Ballista has showed up. Sporting all new 137 hit points. And shooting away. For no real reason they have a Kiro Ballista. And Blue's army is dead again. And m4rKy has built that town center. And probably just needs to send a few units down to here. And that will be the game. It's too bad. It's too bad. How about that scouting? If you don't scout, you don't know what to do. These citizens are just taking over the map. We do have, there's the fire siphon. You know, I kind of miss the legacy, like, crush damage sound. That sound that, like, it's just not quite as much of a thunk anymore. It's more of like a crumble. I want a big thunk. This guy. Ah! Right there. And right there. About 15, 10, yeah, 12 minutes ago. My wife made me floss tonight. Now my teeth hurt. Probably an indication I need to floss, but I'd rather my teeth just not hurt. And yeah, m4rKy is just plowing ahead here. I know I should. Are you my wife? Go to bed. It also doesn't hurt if I don't floss. And there it is. Victory for m4rKy, but that game very easily could have gone to Thoraa. He was literally one click. One military click away from winning the game. Contarius here. Click here. So close. So close. Just not quite it. Yeah, when you're only one town center like that, you've gotta make your gold starve big timing attack push work. Gotta hit that gold. Move on to game number 3. This is the match point. Now, there are extra games here, but there may or may not be 5 games. Thoraa is trying Shenong again. Shenong didn't work the first time. m4rKy has moved on to Loki. So Loki versus Shenong. So you'd think that these nice free myth units that the Shenong will get won't be as important. I do brush my teeth every day. I try after every meal. If I'm at work, though, it's a little bit harder. But otherwise, it would be twice a day. I'm good about brushing. I've always been good about brushing. I got good teeth. No cavities. No cavities. So, yeah, you can't... See, that's where... Look at... there's... Okay. That's where, too. The wife can't get on me too much about the state of my teeth when I'm 37 with no cavities. Must be doing something right. And, you know, those dentists and the hygienists, it's a bunch of... It's a scam anyway. Every time I go, they say, hey, your gums are just beginning to look a little bit pink. What do they call that? Gingivitis or something? Just a little bit starting to set in. And that's whether I've been in the dentist for 3 years or 6 months. It's always the same. Just beginning to get set in. So, I feel like it's never going to get worse than that. You really need to floss more. It's just beginning to set in. And then I always get a bunch of good numbers. A bunch of 3s, 2s and 3s. I don't know what those numbers mean, really, but they seem happy that I get 2s and 3s, so I'll be happy too. I think it has to do with how deep the little... I don't know what it really checks. Yeah, I should ask my nephew. He's a dental hygienist. In fact, he's the one that usually cleans my teeth and tells me, that's just a little bit. Well, they always said that. Except, at one point, I went to this other dentist office. There's a bunch of just evil women there. And like every time I went, they'd tell me I needed to get my wisdom teeth pulled. And I'd ask why. Like, well, they'll give you problems later. Like, well, they're not giving me problems now. Why don't we just wait till later? And that was like, how old am I now? 37? That was like 13 years ago. And they're still not giving me problems, so we'll just keep waiting. Again, I think it's just a scam so they could just charge me money. Why do I need my wisdom teeth out? Winged Sandals has improved the speed of heroes for Thoraa, which will actually be pretty nice because the Chinese like to kind of mass out their pioneers here. We've got the Yazi coming. We have another one coming forward to match. Yep, we've got our 2 Yazis for the early rating presence. And you don't want to come forward like this. Yeah, no. This will lose you the game in a heartbeat here. No, this is no. In Retold, your base food gathers just about as well as hunt. That there's just no value in coming forward to hunt in the middle of the map right away. You're just setting yourself up for failure. There's no point in it. And Thoraa should be coming all out aggression. Where's all his units? Now, I would have liked to have seen a little bit quicker aggression here with more of these. Like, if he would have just made, like, 4 of these hero guys and come forward, he could have pushed these villagers permanently off of food, and that would have put him in just such a huge position right away. What's some nice raids over here? gets another kill. So we've got 2 villager kills. So these guys are getting a little bit more damage in this game than they did in game 1. And hi, Raptor. Nice to see you. Hope you are well. Oh, I hate these walls. You can't put a gate in them. You always got a wall long enough so you can put a gate in them. Is Nuwa banned? Nuwa is not banned. I'm considering it, though, based on kind of what I've seen, and it looks like there's some... I'm contemplating it as we move forward here. I don't have a problem at all with... Shinnok seems pretty fair. Wuzi's maybe kind of strong, too, but I think Nuwa is just kind of a different level of just... strong and oppressive to where it's not fun. Shay beasts? Are those the ones that... Are they really Shay? I thought they were called something else. You mean the ones that spread like that infection? The poison, whatever it is? They're pretty strong. But from what I've seen, I don't know if Shinnok himself... I don't know how strong overall the kit is for these guys. And in fact, I kind of think that if the super strong aspects of Chinese are all nerfed, Chinese might be pretty weak. Because right now they're kind of, seems like their strength is just kind of relying on a few like kind of overly abusive, oppressive things. And if those get nerfed, which they probably should, just Chinese have a whole lot behind that. But it's probably for the best anyway. I mean, you might as well get the crazy stuff kind of solved and then get yourself like a baseline for where the civ is. But boy, I would have loved to have seen some aggression on this forward hunt here. Oh. These units are good, just really weak. So you got to be careful with them. And like I said. All right, building the ballet. This is no bueno. Ooh, this might be a very quick series here all of a sudden. Again, it's part of the scouting issues that we're having as Thoraa here, because Thoraa feels like he's got to come forward and go to the mine in the middle of the map because both very similar ratings actually for the two, like even kind of average and high, but Red is a he's an old school player like me. Red actually, back in the day, we're talking, kind of talked about this right at the beginning of the stream, but you probably weren't here. Red was a pretty solid Age Mythology and Age of Empires 3 player back in like my day, like we're talking 20 years ago. So there's certainly a level of kind of RTS intellect that he would have, having played, you know, that long ago, and was not a top player, but like solid, like well above average player back in the day. to the point where nowadays, you know, probably the low rating is likely just a result of being almost 40 and having other things to do in life. And not really, you know, there's different reasons why players maybe aren't good, and some of it could just be lack of reps or don't lead him this way. He's gonna let him find out that he's got a gold mine over there. Oh, that's gotta be just really bothering Thoraa. I mean, oh, to lose a... Is it Quaofu or Kuofu? Quaofu? Is that how you say it? It seems like it's how you say it. But losing one of those and more villagers trying to build this pointless fort right in the middle of the map. And we've got the throwing axeman who will be generating and donating his life to science. And I don't know if we can win this fight here as blue. Does blue, what? You gotta use, yeah, gotta use this. Freeze those units, get some, oh, no, get at the heroes. Kill the heroes. Ah, could have killed more of these heroes. Kind of was targeting these, not, push! Push, push! Like my wife giving birth. Just push, keep pushing! Ugh. Ah. My wife did better.
Yeah.
Could have trapped these, pushed these off. Just too hesitant. That's kind of what we've seen from Thoraa. There's just a certain level of just... Oh, loses another one. A certain level of hesitancy that just need not be there. Just been defensive all game. I really like this little build over here. Walls regenerate hit points. If that isn't one of the dumbest relics. Of all things to add, why would you want walls to like regenerate hit points? Or why would you? A little bit of a fight here. Not a ton of units here from red. Like, even if he casts flaming weapons now, I don't know if it would do what he would want it to do. That Tao T almost dead. Yeah, I don't know. I love relics, but they should do fun things. And I guess it's a nitpick. I mean, what does it really matter? But they regenerate 10 a second too, though. That's crazy. Yeah, Ariels. I don't. Some of it too, though, is just a. I mean, it could be. You know, I mean, none of these players are like your hardcore players. I mean, we're at a 13 to 1400 level for these, so you know they're doing their best. But when you look at these, like these kind of games are kind of like, you know, your kind of pseudo tournament style. Which, I mean, this is a tournament, but you know, there's nothing. You know, it's not like one of your big tournaments where there's, you know, a whole lot at risk here. But these are kind of the games where you can kind of really get kind of a good grip of where you're at as a player, because you're playing against someone else who's also trying to win a match, win a tournament. Somebody who's kind of probably put a little bit of thought into this, as opposed to maybe you're just your ranked players where you're just playing random games, and you know, you probably would be less likely as a player to put quite as much thought into it. You're just kind of hoping to play a game. We do have a very scary flaming weapons push coming here. And Nice little garrison here. That was good to get him all the way to the back, but there's just not enough units. And again, I mean, I still kind of wonder, oh, why why here? You're just setting yourself up for failure by doing that. We've got I like this tower. Got the random tower. Um, Losing. This could be a quick series here. On paper, this looked like a pretty close one. So I'm a little surprised to see kind of m4rKy just plowing right through Thoraa the way he is. But yeah, if you're Thoraa and you're watching this, there's kind of a few kind of very simple concepts to learn from this series, these couple of games here, to kind of vastly improve your chance at winning. Um, I mean, game one wasn't. Game one was a little bit more straightforward. It just nothing really happened in game one. It was just a waiting game, and then m4rKy was just did better. But like game two certainly was a game that Thoraa was literally one click away from winning, and you can just kind of look at that. Well, why you go at why didn't I make that decision? Like why didn't I think of going to the other gold mine? And kind of attack the problem that way and try to get to the decision making behind it. Because you can say, or you're going to watch the recorded game and tell the guy, hey, you should attack that gold mine, which will I guess would have helped him win that game. But what's the thing to, what's the mindset behind that? Like, what's the decision making part of it to when you're in that situation again the next game and you could win by doing something, you need to be able to process that. So you scout better is the one is one, but then you kind of have to kind of think of the map even just from a strategical standpoint. And while here is a little bit different, like on that marsh one where Thoraa had the run of the map and you push the opponent off of the forward gold mine, you just kind of have to instantly think that your next target is the next gold mine. Um, and in that game, he knew where the gold mine was. Maybe didn't know it was the only gold mine, but should have known that I pushed him off of a gold mine. I go to the next one, because that's how you can win. You don't take an advantage and then sit back most times. You got to take that advantage and build off of it. And you kind of had that here where he took that nice fight here and had quite a huge advantage with his military, pushed m4rKy back, but then just also sat back where if he would have came forward, he had a bunch of hunting villas to kill. He had a few villagers here to push back. Probably could have killed maybe a couple military buildings, but at least trapped all these villagers and maybe killed eight villagers and then been pretty solid spot. And then of course he also had just the miss not scouting the gold mine that's literally right next to the base and then trying to come forward and putting villagers in harm's way that don't need to be put in harm's way. And some of that too is maybe a little bit of map knowledge. Like on watering hole, you should know you always are going to have a close mine on your kind of your base area, and it's not going to be the ones in the middle. So yeah, like m4rKy has this close one. You're always going to have at least one. I know I knew it better in Legacy, where I think in Legacy you were guaranteed 3 gold mines on your kind of starting area, 3 extra ones. So you'd have one, and it looks like at least this map they also had the 3 extra ones, one here, one here, one here. So going to these forward gold mines, I mean, you can, even if you don't have your mine scouted, you have to know I'm going to have 3, and one's going to be super close. that you can jump to before jumping to the middle. But well done to m4rKy. Really, like from a strategical and gameplay standpoint, m4rKy played this series like pretty well. Not a whole lot to really look at and say, hey, need to do better. Didn't like him coming forward here to the hunt, but in the end it worked out. But yeah, m4rKy played pretty well. Was ahead in economy every game. Good decisions with the military. Get this nice, just these four villagers dying here. Just not so good. Actually, what I'm going to do, Aerials. Oh, I messed the stats up. It's not what. It's 3-0. That makes me a little mad. It's 3-0. The series is over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to I've got another set to cast. Probably the easiest thing for me to do, just because I like less work, is I'll turn this stream off so it's separate, so I don't have to separate it later and then turn my stream back on in like 5 minutes with the next set ready to go. Idle villagers, how's that looking? Yeah, not too bad. m4rKy's got a little bit of idle time here and there, but good villager management from Thoraa. Not a lot of idols. Actually better than m4rKy. It's just kind of the strategical aspect of it. Well done to m4rKy. Moves on to the semifinals in the lowest tier. But I'm going to just turn this off quick. Take a quick little break ski for about 5 minutes. Get things turned over and ready for the next series, and I'll be back. So just hang on. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Thanks for watching.